Hello everyone, and welcome to the first developer diary for project SWG Scorekeeper. Well, that was fun. Hello everyone, I am Hiscore, as you may know me as from my online handle. I am the creative director for project SWG Scorekeeper. I was brought on board by Vosk, a friend of mine whom I played with on live, as well as in some subsequent emulators thereafter. And I'm really happy to be doing this. The opportunity to make a new, unique, and fun server with some of my friends. I couldn't be more excited. So, I figured that this dev diary would be an evolving thing, but I wanted to start just with kind of laying out what we're thinking of and what we're doing. Just talking about our vision is probably what this video is going to be about. Okay, so when thinking of the Star Wars Galaxies game, I obviously have a ton of ideas, and we've all now seen emulators try to craft their own version or vision of SWG, and so now we're doing that ourselves. If you look back at like the early history of emulators, you have kind of that purist attitude of we're going to recreate what once was. And you saw this with SWG Emu, recreating what was then the pre-combat upgrade or the pre-CU period of the game. And then some servers kind of going and taking the baton from there. And then you also see that with an emulator like Star Wars Galaxies Legends, where they started the game from where it actually ended in the post new game enhancements or NGE. In that environment, they already had that towards near the end of the game, and then they have that code, and they went from there. And so, right off the bat, as a dev team, we're challenged with determining, well, which version of the code do we use, and what are we actually aiming for? Now, with any vision or plan, there's always the propensity to reach too far or to spend too much time up in the clouds, so to speak. We're in that stage, and so I think we would be best to flesh that out. Now, of course, we want to identify, well, where is it we're going? What are we going to create? Because we want to make sure that our team knows, well, what the end product should be, right? We want to all be rowing in the same direction and creating the same thing. And so what this early phase really is of the opening of the server is really kind of a balance act between spending time thinking about and projecting, right? Thinking in the clouds, what can this be? What do I want this to be? And to really enjoy that kind of creative moment, right? To really embrace the creative nature of this project. For the other side, right, of what we're going to balance that against would be kind of the technical nitty gritty. It is arguable that it's kind of a waste of time to think about some of these fancy systems if in fact the first thing that we're doing is just trying to get the lights on. And so, it's kind of a tightrope act. We want to make sure we're focusing on the simple nitty-gritty, getting the server up, getting it protected, getting it stable, being able to log in, making sure all the files are great, making sure that we can edit things. Our developer team right now is looking through the various tools and methods. We're really in the research phase of what we're doing. And then, our owner right now is, of course, working on actually setting up the server, whether physically or through a third party or whatever it may be. We actually have to get that up and running. And so there's all these technical bits that are going to be happening behind the scenes, but at the same time, we need to make sure that we're guided and pathed in the right direction. And so that's where the vision comes in. And so hopefully that's where I can contribute in, one, expressing a good vision, and then two, aligning that vision, because this isn't a solo project, right? This is a project for me and my friends and peers and people who've been on the project and thought about engaging with this and developing their own version of Star Wars Galaxies. That needs to be respected. And well, it's a delicate process. So let's jump in by firstly painting a vision, and then we'll paint over it probably. I think to start, right, in terms of design goals, I really thought about kind of going back to the beginning. And what I mean by that is spending some time reading Raph Koster's Theory of Fun, and then really looking at the game design from a game designer perspective from someone in 2022. And again, there's another aspect there where we want to incorporate two elements at the same time. One is we want that old game, that old nostalgia. We want to cherish and respect SWG, much in the same way that I think SWG EMU approached their proper emulation, right? We want to emulate the good things in Star Wars Galaxies, the core things or the essential things, the things that really made Star Wars Galaxies Star Wars Galaxies. And then at the same time, we want to put our own spin on it. We want to add something new. When I think about a unique SWG experience, I think about competing with other emulations, and I think about trying to offer something to players that maybe they hadn't had before. A big part of what we're looking at is quality of life. I'm a radical when it comes to quality of life, and I'm hoping to urge our development team to radically overhaul the way that this game is played. So much so that this might be a different game, but at the same time, right, we want to capture that spirit of what's good, and we want to protect that, cherish that, and conserve that. It's a tall order. So, I think I've rambled on long enough. There's quite a lot on here that we've been ideating, but really we're, again, in these initial phases, and so as we move through these phases, everything else will become fleshed out. And I guess the first step of that is creating a developer diary so I can share that ideation along the way, and we can debate it and discuss it within our Discord. So I hope this video finds you well. I hope that it in some ways inspires you, and looking forward to Project SWG Scorekeeper. For the glory of the Scorekeeper.